What's up guys, it's Alex from Everyday Biking, and today my dad will be taking us through a basic Shimano drivetrain service. My bike is way overdue for this, so let's get into it. Step 1. Check and remove your chain. Using a chain wear tool, you can see that my chain is extremely overused and should have been replaced a long time ago. Ideally, the tool shouldn't be able to go in at all. The farther it falls in, the worse condition your chain is in. If you do not have one of these, you can instead use a ruler. Place the beginning of the ruler on the middle of one link and then measure where it falls on the 10-inch mark. If the chain is not worn, it will fall perfectly on 10. If it's over 10 and 1/16 of an inch, your chain should be replaced. Now that we know if we need to replace it, find the master link and remove your chain. And in our case, immediately throw away your chain. But don't actually, cause you'll need it later. Step 2. Check your derailleur clutch. On my bike with the clutch off, you'll notice that the derailleur cage rotates smoothly. However, when we turn on the clutch, it begins to stick. This shows us that it needs to be serviced. This is also a good opportunity to check if the cable is rusty or frayed and needs replacing. Step 3. Remove your derailleur. Cut the cable end cap off of the wire, or in our case, just cut the entire wire off since we're going to be replacing it anyways. Now with the wire out of the way, we can remove the derailleur. Step 4. Service your derailleur. Remove your clutch cover and carefully remove the chain stabilizer. Use a screwdriver to open the brakes so you can remove the clutch cylinder. Carefully clean the brake cylinder, making sure not to get any alcohol inside where the bearings are. Clean off all of the other parts. Now we're moving on to cleaning the derailleur cage and cage axle. Unscrew the cage stopper pin. Release the pressure and unscrew the cage axle to remove the cage. Clean everything. Disassemble the cage so that we can service the jockey wheels. If they're badly worn, then they'll need to be replaced. Take note of the position each wheel is in because they may be different and have a direction. Clean everything. Step 5. Reassemble the derailleur. Grease the jockey wheel bearings and reassemble the cage. Once you've put it all together, torque the idler wheel bolts. Refer to your derailleur service manual for your torque settings. Make sure you insert the spring into the right groove on the cage. Reattach the cage to the derailleur. Grease the cage axle. Make sure you don't get any grease on the top half. Tighten the axle to the appropriate torque. Reinstall the stopper pin. Make sure the top of the axle is clear of all grease. Grease this chain stabilizer. It is important to use the correct Shimano grease or it will not function properly. Reassemble the brake stabilizer and make sure the band is centered on the cylinder. Reinstall the chain stabilizer and cam. It helps to move the cage while holding down the cam and chain stabilizer when attaching. Check the friction torque. Turn the clutch back on and use a torque wrench on the back of the cage to check the torque. Turn the clutch back off again when you're done. Before closing up, double check that the brake is centered on the cylinder and make sure the friction assembly is in contact with the bottom of the cage unit. Finally, reinstall the gasket cover. Before we put the derailleur back on the bike, now is a good chance, if you own a derailleur alignment tool, to check if your derailleur hanger is bent, and if so, to straighten it. If you don't have one, then let's just get back to putting the derailleur on. Step 6. Reinstall the derailleur and a new chain. Reinstall the derailleur and make sure it's fully sitting on the hanger stop. Once again, tighten the derailleur hanger bolt to the appropriate torque. Remove your old cable and install a new cable if you need to. Once your new cable is put through, tighten it, trim it, and put a new end cap on. If you're installing a new chain, cut the new chain to the same length as your old chain. Feed the chain through the drivetrain and reconnect it with the master link. Once everything is put back together, check that everything is shifting correctly and adjust accordingly if necessary. And with that, you're done servicing your drivetrain. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know in the comment section down below what service video you want next. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Everyday Biking, and we will see you guys next time. See ya!